Here we are again. Keep moving. Look behind me and see that Duke stopped, still looking back at the diner. I see some... What? Kazu stops too, looking back at us. Some... I look at the diner, but I see nothing moving, and the windows are in front of it. It's way too dark to see anything in there anyway. Leo prods at Duke's back, but the weasel refuses to move, rooted to the spot. Am I gonna have to carry you? Leo lets go of Duke for a moment, reaching up to turn him around, probably to throw the weasel over his shoulder. Before he can do that, Duke screams long and loud and raises all the hairs on the back of my neck. Before Leo can stop him, the weasel takes off into the night, away from the diner, towards the grouping of trees, bushes, and the side of the road. God damn! Leo curses and immediately goes after him. Well, we lost Leo. Kazu starts to follow. Don't follow me, wait by the car! Leo shouts over his shoulder before disappearing into the brush. Then, more faintly, and watch Chase! Kazu and I stare into the darkness, listening to the two of them crash through the brush before fading out into silence. After a few moments, Kazu rubs his head and turns to me. Well, guess we should get to the car then. I frown, not really worried that Duke can do much to Leo, but rather that they'll run into someone that could. Shouldn't be that hard to catch him, he's in handcuffs. Duke can be fast when he wants to be. Fuck. I feel like we should have gone with him. I keep staring into the darkness of the brush, and Kazu puts a hand on my shoulder as he passes. Don't worry, Leo can take care of himself, especially when he's up against someone like Duke. A handcuffed Duke. Yeah. Reluctantly, I follow the raccoon. Leo's brief presence has been so strong and reassuring, it's kind of jarring to be without it again. At the same time, though, it's not all that different with Kazu. Leo's just more overpowering with it, I guess. I fish my keys out of my pocket, then suddenly realize where we're at. Hey, we should check our room. Jenna and TJ might be in there. Maybe even some of the others. Kazu looks at the dark motel, scanning the rows of doors. Yeah, we should. But I think that we should wait for Leo. I don't really trust anyone right now. I realize he's implying that one of my friends could have gone insane too. And I also realize I can't blame him. From what I saw and what I've heard, TJ might be acting the same way as Duke. That thought causes my stomach to churn sickly. Listen, I gotta pee real quick, okay? Okay. I'm just gonna go over behind that corner. Don't leave him alone! Don't leave him I don't care if you guys see his dick. Just fucking go with him. He points over the side of the motel. No problem. God damn it. I'm getting just a little annoyed that everyone is acting like I'm a little kid that needs to be watched. You do, though! You fucking do! We'll be right back. Kazu does a little jog away before disappearing around the corner. And this is when some shit's gonna happen. I'm leaning her back against the door of the car, swinging the keys around a finger. Yeah, make noise. That's great. That's a great fucking idea. It's completely quiet now, and I haven't heard a single gunshot since we got outside. I wonder if everyone that's been fighting is dead now. Or maybe they just realized how ridiculous the mayor's story was and left. Thinking about the supposed monster that I definitely don't believe in, though, has me looking over my shoulder into the darkness. Images of a hanging body crosses my mind. Shit. Look over to where Kazu went. It's been a little while. Shouldn't he be done by now? A pop from the brush across the street makes me jump. Oh, he's itching. Oh, poor boy, he's itching. Leo? My voice comes out in a whisper. There's definitely something there. We are so dead. Its form stands out just a shade darker than the trees behind it. It might be a bush, but looks thin, like a person. I squint at it, and that's when I see the glint of two eyes in the darkness. I freeze. Whoever it is, they're not responding to me, and that's definitely not a good sign. I decide that I'm just not gonna move until Kazu gets here. And if it does move, I'll just run over to where Kazu went. I don't think he'll mind me catching him with his pants down if there's a fucking psychopath chasing after us. Yeah, that wouldn't be a surprise at all if you're trying to pee and then all of a sudden fucking RUN! I see a thick tail swish out. What the fuck? Oh, he's playing with his tire. I see a thick tail swish out to the side of the dark thing. Slowly, I feel behind myself at the keyhole to the car door, sliding the key in and unlocking it. Actually, I'll just get in the car and foot's up to my right. Duke! Oh! Woo! Duke is always wild as on me in an instant. Jesus Christ! He slams into me so hard I'm sent to the asphalt in an impact that rattles my brain. I roll over groggily and see Duke bent over, his hands fumbling at the ground. Somehow he's moved his handcuffs from behind himself to the front. I realize that I don't have my keys anymore at the same time that Duke stands up, keys in hand. Kutsu! I yell and reach for Duke, who dodges away, throwing some kicks at me before yanking open my car door. Fuck! I lunge for the handle, but I see the weasel slam down the... What? 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 He slammed down the lock just as I reach it. Kutsu comes running around the corner just as Duke starts up the car. Duke! I should use this... Damn! I should uselessly... What? At Kutsu as Duke peels out, yanking the handle from my grasp and forcing me to hop back a step to stop me and run over. Fuck! Of course, I think that Duke's just going to take off down the road to get the hell out of Echo. I have no idea that he's going to turn sharply in the parking lot and come straight for me! Chase! Kutsu screams at me just 20 feet away now, but there's no time. The car's coming at me and jump through the left. Duke easily follows my movement to see the lights split headlights when Duke hasn't turned on. I jump and land on the hood of the car as it hits me. I feel my body is falling through air. I see stars in the moon. I land. What the fuck? The desert stretches and winds out to the distance, rising and falling with the mountains, hills, and valleys. It's endless, monolithic, passionless, except here. Its mark is clear on the land like a stain, a blemish in the beige patchwork of the wilderness. The earth's bad, the air's bad, everything's tainted. Tainted. The mark is old. It's ancient. Been here longer than people. All people. And they knew it too. Everyone who's been here knows it. So do you, even though you're not from here. You were drawn to the stain, like all other evil that's planted itself here. You can see it right through the otter's eyes. You see its influence stretch above you like black tendrils into a dark red sky. They stretch, search, reach for anything alive to stain anything they touch. So it is. And it will always be. What the fuck was that? Chase! I stare groggily up at the face above me. The car is still there. A swirling mess of gray and black before I'm able to focus on the nose that just inches from my own. That crosses my eyes, which hurts, so I close them again. Chase! The voice is gentler this time, though no less concerned. I try to reach my hand up to assure whoever it is that I'm fine. I feel the soft, velvety sensation of an ear catch between my fingers, and the person above me stills. What happened? Are you guys okay? I mumble thickly past lips that don't seem to cooperate with words that don't seem to make sense. Are you? He hit you really hard. I feel a hand run over the top of my head, like it's looking for something. Did you hit your head? I feel my own head, keeping my other hand resting on Kutsu's head. That's right, Kutsu. I push myself up suddenly, realizing where I am and what just happened. I look around into the night, the surreal feeling of regaining consciousness in this nightmare making it all the more horrific. Shit, where is he? I try to push myself up, but Kudzu holds me down firmly. Dude, he took off somewhere. Kudzu looks around, his ears pointed up, as if listening before looking back down at me as I try to sit up again. You need to stay down for now. Something might be injured. I think I'm okay. Just a little bit out of it. Kudzu gazes down at me for a moment, and I'm left staring into his deep, dark eyes. That's when the sound of feet slapping against asphalt breaks the spell, and Kudzu looks behind himself. What the hell? Duke just... Kudzu was suddenly shoved roughly... Jesus! I find myself up in Leo's arms. What the fuck happened? Leo desperately looks me up and down as he holds me in his arms. Did he shoot you? No, he just hit me with a car. I see Leo's eyes widen as his ears shoot up. He suddenly turns his attention on Kudzu, hackles raised. What the fuck were you doing, Cud? Why weren't you watching him? Kudzu flinches back, then glares. He came out of nowhere, Leo. We were both trying to stop him. I see Leo working himself up to shout something else, but that's when I push myself out of his strong grip. Despite the circumstances, I'm bristling at the way I'm being coddled. Leo! He was driving a fucking car! There wasn't anything he could do! Now standing, I feel an achy sensation in my back and my head spins a little. I brace my hands on my knees and wait for it to subside. I don't think you should be standing up so soon. I'm fine. Then now that I'm standing, I'm not completely sure of that. Worrying twinges and creaks pang throughout my body, but I force myself to straighten up, facing the other two. We need to keep moving. Find the others and get out of here. Leo moves up next to me, a big paw reaching out to wrap around my shoulder. I cringe, though, and Leo takes his hand back. Need me to carry you, honey? What the fuck? I grimace and shake my head, mostly because I feel like being slung over his back would be even worse. He settles on rubbing my back gently, eyes still looking me over as if trying to spot some unseen injury. Welcome back, Frosty Talons. Let's get the hell to Peyton. Kudzu coughs awkwardly. We've lost the car, though. Yeah. My heart sinks. Even now, in the situation we're in, I'm a little angry that it was my car that was stolen. I worked hard to buy that thing, even if it was a junker. He shakes his head as if it's a mild annoyance. Then we'll just have to use my van instead. Lee looks up the road in the direction of the diner where he left it 2 days ago. Wait, let's at least check the motel, see if any of the others are in our room. Otter, I'm sure the others have already gotten out by now. I mean, we haven't heard anything from any of them, though. And when they have brought the police or something? He looks back at the motel, chewing his lip. Alright, but let's be fucking quick about it. We need to get the hell out of here so we can get everyone help. Yes, real quick. I reach into my back pocket, pulling out the key card as I... How do you magically still have this shit? You magically had your keys. You magically have your key card. The fuck? We don't have our phone. Well, that's still probably back at Leo's place. Probably fully charged by now. Pulling out the key card as I hobble in the direction of our room on the other side of the building. Kudzu reaches out to me. You need a hand. Leo shoulders the raccoon aside as he practically jumps to my side. What the fuck, Leo? God damn. Gently pressing a hand into my back again. Stay close, Otter. Not gonna let something like that happen to you again. I try to ignore the tension I feel building between the other two. More to the ending, I'm annoyed at Leo. Why is he acting like this? Sure, he was always a little jealous, but right now, in the middle of this hellscape of chaos... That's a pretty apt description. I shake my head, allowing the wolf to guide me with his hand as we turn the corner to the motel. Kudzu stays close behind us, and I look back and try to give him a small smile to show that I at least appreciate his concern for me. Gives me a short nod back, but otherwise doesn't say anything. Like most of the town, the back of the motel is completely deserted as far as I can see. Another pop that's probably a gunshot echoes in the distance, but I'm just thankful that they aren't happening every minute like earlier. Again, I wonder if it's because everyone's dead. As fucked up as it is, I think that might be a good thing for us. As long as it doesn't involve any of my friends. We reach the door of the motel and my heart sinks again as I see there's no light coming from the window. Shakily, I raise the keycard to press it against the lock, only to accidentally drop it. I start to bend over to pick it up, but Leo puts a hand on my shoulder, speaking gently in my ear. Don't move, Otter. He sweeps up the card and presses it into the lock. It flashes green, and I hear the electric buzz of the lock coming unlatched before Leo presses down on the door handle, then pauses. His other hand suddenly reaches out in front of me towards Kudzu. "Kudzu, hand me my gun. I'll give you Dukes." The fuck? Kudzu stares at the hand for a moment, then jumps, as if suddenly realizing what the wolf was talking about. Oh, right. Kudzu lifts his shirt, fumbling with the raised band before pulling out the gun. He hands it to Leo, who in turn gives him Duke's gun. He checks the safety on his own before pointing it towards the door. Leo pauses again and glances at me. "Oliver, behind me." Leo nods back to the wall next to the door. I only feel a twinge of resentment at being treated like a child again, but I'm too eager to check the room to say anything. Finally, Leo gives the door a gentle shove, allowing it to swing open on its own. I can't see anything from behind Leo, but by judging the look on Kudzu's face next to me, they don't see anything. I realize why as Leo slowly reaches inside and flips on the light switch. I can't resist to peek around Leo's bulk into the motel room. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe a blood-splattered room with all our friends' bodies piled in the middle or something. Instead, though, it's basically just how I remember it. I even see my pajamas crumpled up to my side of the bed where I left them. Leo holds steady for a moment, keeping the gun pointed at the ceiling of the room. Finally, he leans in, whispering loudly. "Hello?" No response. Leo waits just a while longer before finally moving forward slowly. I don't wait for Leo's approval to follow, and move closer behind him, Kudzu just behind me. There isn't much to search in the motel room, having just the room and the bathroom to check. Once Leo's sure it's clear, I shut the door and lock it before turning to the other two. Just so we know that we're safe for now, at least. Leo shakes his head. "We gotta keep moving, Chase. We should head to my place now." I open Jenna's laptop on the table, pushing the power button. "Come on, what are you doing?" Leo shifts his weight from one foot to the other. Kudzu moves to stand next to me. "Checking the internet?" I was hoping to. I sigh as I stare at the password screen. "Now let me check with my phone." Leo sighs again. "That's not gonna help us. I have Wi-Fi calling." "You had Wi-Fi calling? This whole time?" "This whole time?" I mean, you said your cell phone wasn't working before, but now is working? Are you serious? Oh my god. He sighs again and sits heavily on the bed, bending it like a bow. He sets his gun on the bedside table before rubbing his face vigorously with both hands. "You okay?" Saying that Leo's been on the edge is an understatement. But sure, we're all fucked up right now, with the way the wolf's been acting. It's like he's a different person. It's 'cause he fucking is. Be willing to goddamn bet on that shit. Oh, adjusting the microphone. Yay. Wonderful noises. Leo lets his hands slide down his face so he can peer at me over his fingertips. He examines me for a while, then finally reaches out with both hands. "Come here, Chula. Chula." I almost hesitate, and I'm not sure why. I walk over to him and stand in front of the wolf before he reaches out and pulls me down into his lap. He then presses my head against his chest before wrapping his arms around me. He starts stroking the back of my neck gently, and it makes me shiver. It all feels a little forced, and we don't meld together naturally like we always used to. "I'm sorry about letting all this happen. I should have told the police when Duke started threatening earlier. Do you know what's happening?" Leo takes in another breath, and his broad chest swells against my cheek before he blows it out, ruffling the fur on my head. "I don't know. I really don't." I notice Kudzu standing to the side, clearly trying not to look at us. "Any internet?" Kudzu looks up and shakes his head. "No, I can't find a network." "Damn it. Did that bear do anything to you?" The hesitation in Leo's voice makes it clear what he's really asking, and it sounds like he's been wanting to ask it for a while. No, he just tied me up for a while. I guess technically he did do more, in a way, but I don't want to go into that right now. That whole incident actually seems like a long time ago already. Janice's murder, getting near raped by Brian, trying to kill Brian. I think there's a numbness in my chest that's dampening my emotions right now, and everything feels like it's far away from me. I wonder if that's some kind of psychological response to what's happening, and if I'll be all fucked up after this is over. Probably. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Later on down the road, we'll find out. Oh God. But I kind of welcome the numbness right now. It at least helps me deal with what's happening a little easier. Jenna would probably be able to tell me what's happening right now if she were here. Of course, that makes me wonder where she and the others are. Makes me want to get out there and find them. Because as much as I want to get the hell out of this place, I feel kind of responsible for them. I did drag them all here, after all. I'm gonna get you out of here. I promise. Leah breathes into my ear and squeezes me a little tighter. I have to hold back a wince as a twinge goes through my back. I have a feeling that I'm gonna be very sore tomorrow, if you have a tomorrow. I suddenly lift my head and look back at Kudzu. What time is it? Kudzu takes his phone back out of his pocket to check. 3:45. Yeah, this has only been an hour and 45 minutes. This whole stream. We're only an hour away from it happening in real time. I stare at him. Are you serious? That means it's only been a little more than an hour since we left Kudzu's place. I was hoping that daylight would be a bit closer than that. Kudzu slumps down in the chair at the table. That's what my phone says. Meanwhile, we're sitting here and the whole place is dark, but our room's light is on, so we're sitting here like a fucking target. Oh, God. I continue to rest my head against Leo's chest, listening to him breathe. I glance up at him to see that his eyes are closed as he continues to stroke the back of my head. I'm about to tell him that we should get moving again when I think I hear something. It's a soft snuffling sound, like someone's covering up their sniffling. I lay there against Leo, not moving as I continue to listen. A full 10 seconds go by before it happens again. This time, I think it's coming from below. Under the bed! Under the bed! We didn't check under the bed! Under the bed. Under the bed. I look up at Leo again, wondering how to tell him I heard something without saying it out loud. Honestly, with his massive wolf ears, he should have heard it before I did. Reach up and poke at his chin. Leo shakes his head a bit, around the poking, but otherwise doesn't open his eyes. I frown and reach up further, touching his cheek. He leans into it. Leo. I barely whisper at him. Finally, he does open one of his eyes, and I point at my own ears, mouthing, "Listen." As his ears comically perk up, his eyes looking at the ceiling. I motion down at the bed. I can see Kudzu from the side of, from his chair, eyeing us curiously, but not saying anything otherwise, thankfully. This time, the snuffling sound is quite a bit louder, and I feel Leo's fur rise up on his arms. That was definitely a person, or someone living and breathing at least, and it's definitely kind of came from under the bed. Leo slowly and gently pushes me off his lap, motioning me away. Slowly, he leans over and grabs the gun. And he stands backing up away from the bed, and crouches slowly with the gun pointed as he looks under the bed. Leo pauses, staring, and then reaches out and grabs whatever it is and yanks hard. You know what? Who I bet it is? I bet it's fucking Clint. The scream is loud and piercing. Whatever it was, a sounding terrified child. Thrashes and he kicks at Leo and clawing frantically at the carpet to try to get back under the bed. And I realize who it is. Oh no, it's TJ! Fuck! I shout his name, confused and terrified myself. The hell? Calm down! He's got both his hands on TJ's ankles, trying to keep him while at the same time trying not to get gauged by toe claws. Move closer, though not close enough to get clawed by the lynx, and try to crouch in his line of sight. TJ, it's us, you're okay! Look in his eyes is wild and desperate and feral. I reach out for his wrist, and he immediately slashes at me with his other hand. Chase, stay back! I fall back in my bed and scoot away a little wide-eyed. Never seen TJ like this. Of course I haven't. I can't imagine what he would have made him like this. scramble up and stand next to Kudzu, who's just as wide-eyed as me. Despite that, he sidesteps a little in front of me as to shield me from the insane TJ. Leo finally drops the cat's legs, and before TJ can scramble back under the bed, Leo jumps on his back. A wind says, I'm sure I can hear TJ deflate like a tire from Leo's weight. Wolf snatches up TJ's arms, pinning them against his back as he leans over the lynx, shouting into his ear, TJ, stop fighting, it's me, Leo! TJ continues to writhe, making weird yowling noises that I've never heard him make before. TJ, it's me, it's your friends, we're here to help you, man! Leo's voice is quieter now, more soothing as he tries to calm down the crazed lynx. It seems to be working as far as TJ's violent thrashing lessens, his yowling fading out to more feeble whining sounds. See? I'm here now. You're gonna be fine. Finally, TJ's head falls to the carpet, everything going limp. TJ sits on the bed cross-legged as he rests his back against the headboard. I gave him a blanket when I saw him shivering, and he's got that draped over his shoulders, holding it tightly around himself. He hasn't stopped shivering, though. I seem to be the only one he doesn't flinch at when we get close, so I sit next to him on the bed. Awkwardly, I put my arm around him, but he seems to take comfort in that and leans against me. The smell of sweat and piss is strong, but I don't say anything. Leo, meanwhile, sits on the end of the other bed, gently trying to get TJ to tell us what the hell happened. Was someone chasing you? Is someone here? TJ shivers against me, and I pat his shoulder. He looks at me, then, and I see his fur is completely matted to his face. He's been crying non-stop. I notice bits of dead leaves on his head, too, along with some dirt. The hell had he been doing? Leo continues to prod gently at the lynx with his questions. You can tell us, we might be able to stop it, or at least watch out for it before we leave. TJ looks at Leo, then opens his mouth, making a squeaking noise. He swallows loudly, then tries again. Do we have any water? Oh, God, that sounded so sad. It sounds like he has an extremely sore throat. Badass Eve. Alright. I look over to the sink, but Kudzu jumps off the chair he's sitting on and makes his way to it. He grabs at one of the small plastic cups before running the faucet. TJ watches him until the raccoon brings the cup back over. TJ drops the blanket around his shoulders and reaches out eagerly for the cup. We watch intently as he loudly swallows giant gulps of water before lowering it from his lips and gasping for air. Leo smiles encouragingly. Careful, don't drown yourself. TJ Why would you say that? Why would you... To someone who... Why would you... Jesus Christ! TJ stares, then shivers again, much more violently. I grip him more tightly. Are you cold? I grab up the blanket and try to tuck it around his shoulders better. Kinda, not really. I feel cold, but... TJ rubs at his chest. He's still trembling, and I realize he might be in shock. I don't know what to do for that. In every TV show I've ever seen, the person is just given a shiny blanket and while they sit on the side of the road. So I just continue to rub his shoulder in circular motions, trying to be soothing. I wish Jenna were here. She'd know what to do. Did you check the other bed? Maybe she's under there too. He leans against me again, though, so I feel like I'm doing the right thing. He holds out the cup to Kudzu again. Could I get some more, please? Sure. Kudzu takes the cup delicately from TJ like the lynx might break. When Kudzu moves off to the sink again, TJ leans in towards me, whispering, That guy played soccer with us, right? Oh, was that the guy? That guy played... Yeah, I said that right. Yeah, he did. Right. TJ goes back to leaning against me and staring at the wall. While this isn't good, he does seem to be getting better. He can recognize us again, and remember stuff at least. Leo adjusts himself on the bed, clearing his throat again. Tej, if you can't remember, that's okay. But I just want to make sure that no one's, coming after you. TJ blinks, then shakes his head. No, I don't think so. Leo waits, but TJ doesn't say anything more. No one? You were hiding? So, you clearly don't want to upset the Lynx, but it makes sense why he wants to know. If there's someone lurking out there, hunting TJ down, we could be in a lot of danger right now. We have to wait, though, as Kudzu comes back with the cup. TJ takes a few more big gulps before looking back at Leo.
I thought I saw something. I keep seeing things. I think I need to go home.
I stare hard at TJ, studying him. I don't know why, but I guess I thought we'd all be exempt from this hysteria. I knew we were all normal, at least to an extent. This whole crazy chaos seemed too foreign, too different for it to affect my friends. People I know that are grounded, normal people. Fucking, that does not mean anything. That's exactly what TJ was. And now, Leo stands up and steps closer, sitting down slowly next to TJ on the opposite side of the bed. We are gonna go home, Tej. We just have to go on a walk to my car first. He reaches out and sets a hand on TJ's leg, and I'm glad to see that he doesn't flinch at all. He's really calming down.
Okay.
TJ suddenly opens up the blanket around himself, staring down at his clothes, as his nose twitching and the skin inside of his ears flushes.
Can I take a shower?
Leo pauses, clearly not having expected that.
Oh, we really need to get going. Don't you want to get home and take a shower there?
TJ has put the blanket back over himself. TJ has put the blanket back over himself, trying to hide his pants.
I just like to feel clean again.
Oh, God, that language makes me worry. I feel like it might be a good thing for him to clean off. Maybe to have some time alone. I give Leo a meaningful look as I lower my voice gently for TJ. Sure, man. We'll wait. TJ slowly pushes himself off the bed to stand on unsteady legs. Both of his hands not so subtly shield his crotch as he walks to the dresser.
Okay, just don't leave, okay?
We won't.
Leo's still using his talking to a toddler voice. The wolf gives me a frustrated look, but I ignore it.
And I'm gonna leave the door open, so if something happens, just yell.
It's fine, and nothing's gonna happen, okay?
Yeah, okay.
TJ pulls out some pants from the dresser before making his way to the bathroom. He keeps glancing back at us like we're going to disappear if he looks away too long. I try to give him a cheerful smile until he finally disappears into the bathroom. We sit around in a sort of circle in the motel room, Leo and I on the beds, Kudzu in the chair. Keep our voices low as we discuss what's going on, not wanting TJ to hear. This doesn't make sense. TJ is one of the most rational people I know. How is this affecting him? Affecting him? We don't know what's causing it, though. I don't know. I thought it was drugs or something. They all just took the same drug? I don't know. Or maybe they're all crazy because of drugs or something set it off.
Well, TJ is religious.
So
if he believes that, then maybe it could go further than that?
I shake my head.
No, that doesn't make sense. People in cults do it all the time.
But he's not in a cult. Yes, he is. He's religious.
It's all kind of the same thing if you think about it.
Your whole family is super religious, Leo.
Yeah, so I have first-hand experience with all of it.
Leo chuckles despite the situation. It makes me wonder if this is something more than what's in everyone's head, if even TJ's having it happen. I mean, you're not acknowledging the fact that it's happening to you, too, and Leo, and probably Kudzu. I mean, he was staring at... What the fuck? Kudzu taps his chin from the chair he's sitting in.
What was it Duke was saying about his grandpa? Something about a curse?
Leo waves his hand, like he's swatting away a fly.
I'm not saying. Spanish word. Speaking of shit that doesn't make sense.
Kudzu shrugs. I'm starting to wonder. I fold my arms and look towards the bathroom where steam is wafting from TJ's shower.
Well, stop wondering. I don't want you ending up like them.
I frown and glance back at the bathroom before lowering my voice. Like TJ?
Leo sighs. No, one of those fuckers probably freaked him out or something.
I mean, he never struck me as the very stable type.
You did say he was seeing things.
Leo suddenly stands up from his sitting position on the bed.
You know what? We should just stop talking about this. We're leaving once he's done anyway.
As if on cue, the water shuts off and the automatic dryer starts up. Right after that, TJ's meek voice pipes up from inside the bathroom.
You guys still there?
I call back gently, cheerfully. We're here, TJ. He sighs and moves to the window to look outside, pulling back the curtain just a bit. Think the others are out there right now? Your friends? Yeah, Jenna, Carl, Flynn. I don't know why I hesitated with Flynn's name. Leo silently stares out the window a while longer, the yellow light of the street light falling across his face momentarily. Lets it drop back into place.
With any luck, they got the hell out of here when this started.
Like I said, if they did, then they would have brought someone back. Really, if anyone got out, they would have. They didn't say anything. Electing to lift a gun. Oh, electing. Leo didn't say anything. Electing to lift a gun from he's had clutched in this entire time to examine it. Fuck Christ. Does that mean no one's gotten out of here? It's a momentary silence.
Hello?
We're still here, TJ. Kazu shifts in the chair. Well, a lot of us here have relations outside of town, family, work at Peyton. In fact, Kazu checks his phone again. I'm supposed to be into work in like 5 hours. Somebody's got to notice. Maybe we should wait until morning? Someone has to be looking for someone by then. Leo thrust the gun back into his waistband resolutely.
Nope, relying on other people has gotten us nowhere. We gotta help ourselves.
You might have a point, Leo. Your friend looks in pretty bad shape, like, mentally.
Then I'll carry his ass to the truck. I'm leaving and not leaving any of you behind.
Leo stops and I follow his gaze to the bathroom where TJ stepped out. His fur a little damp and spiky from a shower and fresh change of clothes. He stands there awkwardly for a moment, rubbing his arm as we all stare at him. Hey, how you feeling?
I'm fine. Things are more clear now.
Leo smiles gently.
Good. So you remember who we all are?
TJ smiles weakly.
Yeah, again, things are clear. And you guys don't have to talk to me like that. Like I'm crazy.
Ah, sorry.
Clear my throat and try to assume a less I'm talking to you, a crazy person tone. Do you think you can make it to Leo's? We can stay here if you want. Wait for someone to find us? I ignore Leo's exasperated sigh from behind me. TJ glances at the bed.
I'd like to just lay down, but...
He looks back up at us, clasping his hands together.
I think something is happening here. Doing something to our heads. I don't know.
Leo narrows his eyes.
What do you mean?
TJ looks off to the side.
I just saw things that shouldn't be here. This has never happened to me before, so...
TJ looks down at his hands.
I remember someone was chasing me, trying to grab me, and I scratched at it.
TJ looks up at us.
And it was Jenna, but I was too scared. I didn't know if it was really her or not, so I ran, and she didn't follow me.
TJ's starting to shiver again. Oh, what did she look like when you didn't know it was her exactly? TJ frowns, opening his mouth to say something, then closes it again. Finally, he looks at Leo, apparently deciding to ignore the question.
Can't we find her? I can't stop thinking about it. And I want to make sure she's okay.
His voice gets a little broken, but he manages to control his tears this time. Leo grimaces.
We really need to go, TJ. The faster we can get help, the faster we can help everyone here, including Jenna.
The corners of TJ's mouth tug down in a frown. He didn't say anything.
But if we see her on the way, of course we'll bring her with us, okay?
TJ's still looking like he's trying not to cry, but nods quickly. Leo rolls his shoulders, keeping the gun pointed at the ground as he moves to the door.
Now everyone, stay close to me. Chase, keep with TJ. Kudzu, you bring up the rear, got it? Alright. We're just gonna head up the street to the diner. Not far at all.
I look up at TJ, trying to give him a reassuring smile. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Didn't the reason we go to the motel was because they said that it was closer
than where Leo's car was?
But we passed the diner to get to the motel, didn't we?
Look at TJ, trying to give him a reassuring smile. He's still looking at his hands, though, so I move over to him, putting an arm around his shoulder, gently guiding him to the door.